You know, I really can't tell what it is. I'm going to try to pry on it a little bit with my pick and try to get it up, but if we can't get it up, we'll look at it on the videotape when we roll it. All right, you ready for a nice fall afternoon adventure? I am at a brand new spot. I've never been on this creek before. I have hunted or metal detected a couple Civil War camps pretty close to here, say within a quarter of a mile or so, but never right up to the creek, so I don't know if this is going to be any good or not. Now, there was some fighting in this area, not like big fighting, not stuff that everybody will read about. So there is a possibility that we could find some fired bullets, maybe even an artillery shell. But it's unknown enough that I'm really kind of hoping that other people haven't already been here metal detecting. I walked down the creek a little ways because I wanted to get down to the end of the property, and we're going to work our way up so that we're not stirring up the mud. And it just looks beautiful, man. A little deep in places, but a lot of bedrock. Like that area right there is probably 3 feet maybe, so I won't be able to hit those spots today. But all this bedrock along the edges and some of the areas up there, it's really shallow. We can definitely detect, and if we find stuff, we'll come back next summer and we can get in those deeper spots. But I just don't want to get completely frozen today, because although it's like in the 70s, if I get my shirt wet, this little breeze, it doesn't look like much, but it will really chill you down. And that's why I have a hard time in the fall when I'm detecting in the rivers, and I hate it so much because it's warm and you're sweating, but as soon as you get soaking wet, you freeze to death. So all right, let's get to it. I'll quit yapping. Plenty of beaver sign along here. Hopefully there'll be some things to see. I wouldn't be surprised if we find some Indian artifacts. I have found them nearby as well. What do you say? Get to it? Let's fire the old puppy up. Puppy up. Puppy up. What does that mean? So that's the rock right there I was sitting on when I started the video, and this is my first target. Probably should have showed me digging it, but I just wanted to get it up and out because I'm already wet. But yeah, so we got a piece of chain with a nice round eye piece on it. That could be old, that could be Civil War era, or it may not be. We just don't know for sure. It's really hard to say with stuff like that unless there's an identifiable part of that chain. It's just impossible to say. Hey, here's something you guys might find interesting. I don't have a relic, but I want to show you something. You notice I'm like about knee deep here, and if you look up in the trees, you can see there's mud on those leaves. That's a good 10-15 feet above me. What that tells me is that not long ago, probably since the last time it rained really hard, the river was in those leaves. So there was a good 10 to 15 feet of water above my head not that long ago. So if we hear one thunder boomer, we're out of here. This place floods. Well, I got my first relic-y kind of signal, although it might not be war related, but a nice big old horseshoe. Sweet. We're on our way, man. On our way. Just got to find all the trappings the horse had on him when he ended up in the creek. If he did. I just found this little thing here, which I assume is a arrow of some sort. Maybe it's an antenna. I don't know. When I first found it, I thought maybe that was some type of weird blunt tip to hit squirrels with. But now that I'm looking at it, that's probably a fishing rod. Yeah, it's a fishing rod. That's what that is. Yeah. Part of it, the reel would have been down here on the handle. Squirrel. Well, at least we know that people like to fish in this creek. It has a little ½ ounce fishing weight. So I have a strange little signal here. I mean, I think I can see it, but I can't tell what it is. It doesn't read like iron. I think it's that dark thing right there. It doesn't read like iron, it reads more like lead, but I'm not sure if I'm going to even be able to get it out of there. I've tried prying on it with my fingers. I'm going to put you under, let you take a quick look at it, see if you can see what it is. And if there's something good and I can't get it out, we'll come back and get it, some other day. Hold your breath. No, I really can't tell what it is. I'm going to try to pry on it a little bit with my pick and try to get it up, but if we can't get it up, we'll look at it on the videotape when we roll it. This is kind of weird. Check out the size of this giant lead weight. Now, I'm going to guess that somebody used this for fishing. And this little creek right here, now there's some slightly deeper holes, but man, that thing's massive. That thing's got to weigh ½ a pound. Huh. Yeah, I could have used it for something else, I reckon, but I mean, trot lines you could just tie to a tree. There's no reason to use this. I'll take it. I think it's a copper wire that's in there. Might be Civil War. Big thing to put in the end of a gun barrel or a cannon barrel. What do they call tompion? That's what it is. It's not a tompion, but they do make such a thing. That's kind of a strange thing to find in the middle of a creek, isn't it? That's a gauge of some sort. I'm not exactly sure. Probably temperature. Nah, temperature gauge. Looks well. It could be hours, I guess. I doubt that's miles. Isn't that weird? I wonder what that goes off of. Huh. I really don't know. I imagine if we look close at it, we could figure it out. Got numbers on the outside. Those are probably hours right there. Look, still works. Oh, it's cold, it's freezing. Enough of that. I was really kind of getting a little bit nervous. Well, I still am nervous about finding stuff. I am finding more sinkers, you know, modern sinkers. Could be 50 years old, but so that tells me this place hasn't been like metal detected to death. So if there are bullets here, there should be at least one or two more, considering there's still fishing weight. And when I first saw it, I was going to say it was part of a lantern wick. And I think it's probably what it is, a wick holder. I'm pretty sure. Normally there's a big round piece right there, but I think it's just like eaten away. So that's probably my best find so far. That or the horseshoe, which isn't good. And we still got a ways to go, but I mean, we've come. I mean, I've been here like over 2 hours now doing this. And you've seen what I found. Wow, looks like a little cannonball right there, but it's not quite big enough and it's not round enough. I have a feeling it's not going to be irony enough either. It's a rock. Well, this is my next target right after that little lantern piece, and it is a fired small caliber musket ball. So at least we found something. We can't say it's from the Civil War. This could, you know, our Civil War, American Civil War was 1860, well, 1860s, 61 to 65. This could be 100 years older than that very easily. Close to 200 years, actually. Or it could be even more new than that. So we don't know if this is from the American Civil War or not. Round balls, you can just never tell for sure. But at least we found some lead. That's probably older than me, so I don't feel like I'm really quite skunked. Close to being skunked. I want a Civil War item or something pre-Civil War that we can identify. If we can do that, then we're not skunked. But until then, we're skunked. I mean, I don't care if we have a giant silver dollar from 1912, we're skunked. Or not, who knows. Well, you've probably seen a few of these in my videos. This is the jaws to a, well, and pan, to a leg hold animal trap. That would have been set along the banks here for muskrat or mink or raccoons or something like that. And it's obviously been in the water a long time because it's all rotted away. Oh well, I mean, there's still hope we'll find some good Civil War stuff yet. I haven't given up hope. This is a big old piece of a plow. So some farmer over the years has been farming the field up above us, naturally, and plowing, and tossing the junk he finds, or things he breaks, into the creek here. So if he found a cannonball, guess what? It's going to be in the creek here, chances are. You got to remember, the cannonballs are like, you know, they can be live, and if he found that in the 1930s or 40s, there wasn't that much interest in Civil War stuff back then, so he probably just pitched in the creek, hopefully. So we're going to look around this area and see what other kind of junk we might be able to find. Maybe we'll find a nice musket barrel with bayonet, or a bayonet with a musket attached to it. That would be even better. Only ever found one of those. If you look, that's another piece of a plow right there. I haven't picked it up yet, but you can tell by its shape. Looks kind of like an old fossilized shark's tooth. So that's what's going on. That farmer's pitching them in the field, from the field into the creek as it goes along. And well, like I said, if you found a cannonball, it's probably in here too. So keep your eyes open. Just a few feet from where I found that last plow point and dug this. That's probably off of a piece of equipment too, farm equipment, horse drawn, maybe part of a plow. You know, where you attach it to the horse. Kind of almost recognize that as like being part of a Hames or something. So yeah, we might be in a good spot. We could find something good yet and redeem ourselves. Well, I just found something you don't see every day, and it kind of goes in line with some of the stuff I was just showing you. The pieces look like I said might be off a wagon or something. Well, here's the wagon. That's a board from it, and that's actually an axle. That's an axle right there, and it had big wooden, you know, wood, big wheels on it that would have been wood spokes coming out with an iron around it, big loopy iron. So that's 100% an axle right there. And those are the boards from the sides, and I saw a few more downstream. So there's definitely a wagon pushed in the creek for some reason. Now, it's more likely that it was just a farmer's wagon that he didn't want anymore and pitched it in or got in a flood. But it's possible it could be a military wagon that they wanted to destroy, and they couldn't take it away for whatever reason. Maybe the wheels are broken and they just pushed it in. I don't know if we'll ever know that, but it's still pretty cool, isn't it? In fact, you can see right there, that's a spoke to one of the wheels coming out. And that's a whole kit and caboodle right there, right? And that's a Cannon axle. The iron pieces right there that I have found and shown you, it looks like a little baby cannon, but they're all covered up, so you can't really see what's going on with it. That's awesome, man. Maybe we'll find a whole bunch of cannonballs in here. Maybe this was an artillery wagon, a caisson. The caissons go rolling along. Well, they were carrying cannonballs back during the Civil War, and if they pitched a whole thing in, there's gonna be a pile of them right here. Just don't hold your breath. Well, I'm just up from the wagon axle, and I suspect that's not a Civil War soldier's ride right there. What do you think? I'm not sure what it is. Looks like a unicycle, really. Is that what it is? Well, that's an old bike, I reckon. Or a unicycle. I don't know. Not even sure, really. Anyway, yeah. Right down there is where we found the axle right in there, and that hole's actually way over my head, so we're not going to get in there today. But we might come back next summer and jump in there just for the heck of it, because it is a nice deep hole right next to where the no wagon was pushed in. I'm kind of just upriver from where I found that wagon, and I just found a beautiful horseshoe. I think it was down quite a ways in the mud. I mean, that's not a plow horse, that's not a farm horse, that's a riding horse right there. Could very easily be from the cavalry in the Civil War. And that's a beautiful little shoe. Absolutely gorgeous. Awesome. I will admit that I'm getting a little bit excited about the possibilities now. We're actually getting up close to a road that had an old crossing, modern crossing there now, naturally. But we're starting to find stuff closer to this road, which is really interesting. Not surprising, but interesting. I like that one. It's a beaut. So you know how I was saying how that wagon, could be possibly a caisson from the Civil War? Unlikely naturally, but I did find an old horseshoe that looks like it could be from that era. And I got a really sweet signal here that could possibly be an artillery shell. I haven't seen it yet, but I can feel it stick to the magnet, and it feels solid and feels good. It's not loose yet either. I'm just kind of kicked around a little bit. But I got to thinking, if that is a caisson, which is downstream about, I don't know, 70 feet, this could be where it was pushed in. And all the cannonballs are right here at my feet. Of course, cannonballs aren't going to go anywhere. They're going to hit the bottom and just lay there no matter how bad the flood. But the wagon itself, well, it's going to get picked up by the currents and that swirling water that's 15 feet above our head and dragged down just a little bit. Maybe just that distance. This is a cannonball, man. We called it. Freaking awesome, isn't it? I have no idea. I don't even want to look anymore, because I'm so hopeful. I'll put you under, see if you can see it, though. It might be uncovered. Well, it's uncovered a little bit because the magnet's sticking to it. So hold on, let me get you set back up. All right, so here we go. It's in that area that's all cleaned out a little bit, and we'll get the magnet on it, see if we can figure out what it is. So hold your breath for real this time. Hold your breath. Well, that's not a cannonball. Probably looks like the base to a lamp, somebody's lamp from their house, like I have one like that in my living room. Oh well, boys can dream. That's where I found the lamp base. I don't know if it really was a lamp base, but yeah, so look at this. This is another part of, I guess it's going to be part of a wagon. Part of that wagon axle that we found down there. So we've got some wood attached. I don't know enough about wagons to tell you what part that is, but there's definitely at least one in here. I still have hope. I still have hope. I can't talk. I still have hope. Well, it is a pretty little stream, but I'm still not really finding like that, at least that one good item. As you see, there's beautiful rock ledges in here. There's something there. That's probably another part of a wagon right there. See that bolts coming off of a piece of steel. Nice deep holes, fairly clear. Something else down there I can see might be a stick. There's a little bicycle over there. That might be part of the other bike I found, or it might be another one. But yeah, it's a beautiful little spot. I'm just hoping that we get at least one good item, like one belt buckle or gold coin or silver kepi with the numbers on it and the guy's name sewed into the leather on it. I mean, that would be really cool if we find that up here. I'm not gonna find that. I'd be happy with one mini ball, preferably draw. That will keep my hopes up. I just saw a snake plop out of the tree right there into the water. Hopefully it was saw us and took off. Not coming after us. Keep an eye open right there. I think this is the third brick that I've seen just recently, so that's a good old one too. So we're getting close to something. I mean, it could be could be a dump, or it could be an old house that washed into the river, or it could even be a Civil War camp. You never know, because they use those bricks for the chimneys in the huts that they made. So that is hopeful. Anytime you see bricks like that, I mean, they could have washed down from a ways, but not like miles away. So we're getting close to something. Like I said, that's the third one I've seen probably with 30 feet. Whenever you see things like these, like hanging in trees or up on the bank like that, you got to be a little bit, that makes me nervous, because that would have made a beautiful signal in the water, and if another digger came by and dug it, they might just set it up there so they don't have to listen to it again. So this area we're in right now could have been dug before, that could just kind of washed out of that area up there and settled in that cracks. I did see, well, another one right around the corner that was just up on the bank. But so not necessarily telling us that someone was already here, but it's a pretty good clue that they were. It is a modern dime, not even a Roosevelt dime, or silver Roosevelt. I'm not gonna do that again. Luckily we're actually, well, luckily maybe not, but we're getting up close to where we're going to end the day. The road's right up here. We go onto the road a little ways, but not too much further. And then we're going to have to call it a day, I guess. I do have about another mile of river, but I don't think I'm going to do that today since I'm wet. We're not finding anything. Near the road now in the original crossing, and got a couple more horseshoes, and there's a whole lot of iron up here. A lot of modern stuff in the new bridge. But this is definitely the crossing. Here's a little wrench. It's probably not that old, but I imagine it's probably older than me. We'll keep her. Plenty of targets here, and some good sounding targets, but you know, nothing really great yet. It obviously is a giant chunk of brass. Spigot to somebody's house, and there's some copper wire there. We might find something good in here yet. We'll look around a little bit longer. See some pieces of pipe. Could be a musket barrel mixed in, who knows. So we're directly under the bridge now, and you can see that it's solid flat rock all the way across. So this is probably the original crossing, the original ford. And just down there is where I was finding the horseshoes and stuff. Lots of signals in here, but I'm not really hopeful. Well, we might find something old, but you know, there's a lot of stuff from the bridge naturally. Bridge construction. A piece of pipe here, I believe. My magnet. Looks like a modern piece of pipe. So we'll look around a little bit longer, and then we're going to head upstream. And once we get to the truck, we'll call it a day. We still have some hope, don't worry. Once we get everything what's under the bridge. Might be trolls under here. There's a neat little freshwater spring bubbling out of the creek bank. Huh, pretty neat. So this is kind of an interesting development. I got to this kind of like big rock pile on the side of the creek. I wasn't sure what it was all about. I had my suspicions, but now that I'm above it, I can see that there's like a pile of rocks right there. I can see that there's some stacked rocks in there as well. So I'm thinking this could have been something to do with a mill or something like that. If you look here, there's some stone, or it's not stone, but a big log that goes underneath my feet, and you can see where it's been hollowed out right there. That's where something went down into it. So this is the remains of a dam, some type of mill dam of some sort. And it goes over to that side right there. So this is where the wood cribbing started, or to come up like this on an angle, and had rocks piled on it. And then probably like a slope going like this all the way across the creek, and the rocks have all washed away, and that's what all those little rapids are down there. Part of a mill up there. So that's pretty cool. Whenever you see this in the creek like that, it kind of gives you a good idea that's what was going on. Well, it's a dead giveaway when you see the wood like that. Pretty cool, huh? There's some critters have been walking across there. That could be beavers, that could be deer. It's hard to say really. Oh, I don't know if I've actually mentioned these or not. You probably, oh, that's disgusting. This is a hedge apple. This actually comes off of a tree. That one's actually kind of rotted, but you find them all along in the woods and stuff like that. Something eats them. I'm not sure what. They have like a milky substance on the inside. Very similar to like milkweed when you look into it. It's not something I think a normal animal would eat, but I have seen in the woods, especially in the wintertime, where something does eat like the insides of them. I don't know if it's a squirrel or something like that, mouse or deer. Probably squirrel, I would think. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll keep moving up stream here. We've still got a little ways to go. This would have been like a mill pond right here, so this would have been really deep back in the day. So we'll give this a good go. You know, it would have been a good place for like someone to pitch a cannonball if they want to get rid of it. I don't think those things going to cross up there, but I think that might be no beaver dam. So we'll have to be a little careful, make sure there's no beavers come out of the bank after us. If you look here, this is the sticks I was just showing you. And they're all laid that way, and they're all beaver cut. You can see where there's cut beaver sticks over there too. So it's probably going to be a den up in there somewhere. So we'll keep our eyes open. As long as it's not too deep, we'll keep going. But if it does deepen up, we'll have to go around it. All right, there's beeve here. That's that pile of sticks I just showed you. Let me show you this real quick. This is actually kind of interesting. If you look in here, these are all beaver sticks. You see where the beaver cut the limb in half. He ate all the bark off of that. And there's a whole bunch of them in there. You see this big tree laying down here? That's what he's eating. You can see where he's chopping them off. If you look closely up there on the bank, you can see he actually chewed that tree all the way through and made it fall over so that he could eat it. Oh, that's a whole beaver tree right there. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? And the thing is, most people, say, that's destructive that they're doing that. But what he's doing is he'll make a clearing here. He'll cut down all the trees for an acre or two and build a dam, so there'll be all kinds of areas for fish and other wildlife. And there'll be a meadow. Where there was a woods, there'll be a meadow. And that meadow might last for 100 years, as long as the beavers are around eating stuff. So it's actually not damaging the environment so much as changing the environment, and often for the best. I mean, they're natural for this environment. That's how everything around here happened. Everything's designed to, be in harmony with what the beaver would do. I hope he's not in here right now, though. Well, I'll tell you what, the starting to get a little bit dark-ish, and we're getting up to actually beyond where I wanted to go today. Bottom has some silt, but it's getting uniformly too deep for me to retrieve anything that's not made out of iron, and use a magnet for that. With a pinpoint and me reaching down and grabbing it. I'm going to have to get wet. So if there's like bullets and stuff, there's no way for me to get them without getting wet. I'm probably going to quit here in just a minute. I'll go up just a little bit further. If I find anything, I'll jump back on the camera. But if not, I hope you enjoyed the little adventure today. It's like every other day. You just never know if you're going to find something or not, especially when you're checking out new places. I will have to admit, the wagon was pretty awesome, and I got a bag full of horseshoes. Woohoo! We'll see you on the next one, I hope.
Take your gold chain and your locket. Mother Earth has no sympathy. She'll take the ring from your hand and bury it in the sand and keep it for eternity. Mother Earth, she's got her secrets she's promised to keep, hidden in her dirt or deep in her creek. Mother Earth, she ain't saying exactly what she's saving, where it is or what it might be. Mother Earth, you are my lady, my big round baby. I'll rock you until I go to sleep. She don't care if you're dying or if you're living or somewhere in between. Mother Earth, you are my lady, my big round baby, and I'll rock you until I go to sleep. She'll shake the coins from your pocket, take your gold chain and your locket. Mother Earth has no sympathy. She'll take the ring from your hand and bury it in the sand and keep it for eternity. Mother Earth, she secrets she's promised to keep, hidden in her dirt or deep in her creek. Mother Earth, she ain't saying exactly what she's saving, where it is or what it might be. Mother Earth, you are my lady, my big round baby. I'll rock you until I go to sleep. She don't care if you're dying or if you're living or somewhere in between.
Alright, let's go see what it is.